Welcome back, AMFishers. I'm Bill Georgopoulos, the host of the AMFisH fishing vlog series. This is a really interesting vlog here on a company that's come out with some great technology here that's basically implemented across all their products. The company name is Freedom Tackle. If you haven't checked them out, feel free to do so. Here is the name of the company and just one of their products, which is a spinnerbait. So just looking at it in that package, it would look like a normal spinnerbait, correct? Sure, yes. But there are some differences. So here is a normal spinnerbait, just another supplier's spinnerbait. Right? No movement here on the head, no movement on the hook, just a standard black spinnerbait. Well, you saw the Freedom Tackle product in the package. Now let me show you the Freedom Tackle product outside of the package. So holding it like that, sure, looks like it's the same until I move my hand and you can see that this skirt does complete 360. Free swing hook that is actually removable. So let me just kind of go through that technology with you here. They've got on the back of their package. You are able to remove the hook. They've got their portion of the head here. Within that is a brass chamber with a mechanism that allows you to thread your hook on and off. There are some advantages to this brass chamber as well. It does give off some sound. Lead is very dense. Brass will give off a little bit of that clicking, pinging noise, especially with the hook moving around and wiggling and all that vibration. Due to the fact that it's also free space in there, it's not filled in, it'll actually emit some bubbles as well once your bait hits the water and the air in there kind of drains out. So very simple to use too. I mean, you want to put a hook on, you twist it onto this mechanism clockwise, you want to take it off and unhook that bait or that hook, you go counterclockwise. But just to give you kind of a review of this, so you know, they've got great blades, good quality blades. The wire is a good gauge. The head's got a lot of detail, as you can see. Great paint job on that, great realistic eyes, great flash, solid hook, a good stranded skirt. And they've gone a step further. I'm going to try and get that on camera right there. There you have your little corkscrew bait keeper, which is amazing because you can actually screw your bait onto that, your soft plastic bait onto this, and then drape it over the top as a Texas rig on the hook, and now you've got a completely weedless bait, which is amazing. They've gone a step little further. This is your typical R-bend that you would see here, and I'll show you on the other product that I have already. There's some braid that was tied to that, so you'd normally tie to your R-bend like that, and your knot can slide around if it starts to loosen up or something like that. They've gone a little step, taken a little step further, which is kind of neat, and giving you a little red elastic that can be removed if you don't want it there. But it does allow for that little, blockage, basically. It's not going to let your knot slide around, which is another little feature. So between that little feature there and the bait keeper feature, you've got quite a good advantage here when it comes to having a superior product that you can use. The durability, again, a really strong hook. But to give you an idea of how simple it is to change these, again, here is the actual hook I have in front of me. I'm just trying to expose that chamber so we can kind of see. So there's that little hook. If I want to unhook this, I'm going to give it a turn. I'm trying to do that without hooking myself. And there you go. There's the chamber. There's the skirt. There's the hook. All two separate pieces. What this allows you to do as a fisherman and an angler is you can pre-rig baits and just slide the new hooks with those baits back onto this head. And now I've got a swimming craw as an example, or this can be a frog bait, a swimming frog, soft plastic frog bait or buzz bait that can be used as a buzz bait underneath the surface. I can have a swim bait. So now I've got a swim bait with blades attached to it on a spinnerbait, no skirt. I can also do the same thing, put the skirt back on here, onto this new hook, thread this on. Now I have a head, a spinnerbait skirt, plus a swim bait body underneath that skirt as well. This is just great, guys. I mean, it allows you to make this spinnerbait and turn this spinnerbait, a standard spinnerbait, into multiple different baits and different looks and applications out there. A standard spinnerbait, as an example, again, If this hook gets damaged or busted, I can't replace it. Well, if it gets damaged on this one, I just take it off that jig head and put on a new hook. But this one here, you know, you'd normally thread your soft plastics onto your hook like that. This would not be, you know, protected at all. It is protected by the wire, but your hook would still be exposed. Being able to use that bait keeper that they provided us and have your bait like this, it's perfect, because now you can have your spinnerbait that's completely Texas rigged. So if this does get damaged as a, you know, different product or different spinnerbait, the hook is built right into the lead head. I cannot replace this hook. The bait pretty much becomes useless, minus me keeping the swivel and the blade and possibly the skirting material. If this hook, again, comes with a very strong hook and a very sharp hook, but things happen. We get them stuck in docks, we get them stuck in cinder blocks, metal components, anything sunken below the water that we can't see. Things can happen. Hooks can only take so much, especially when we're using zero stretch lines like we are nowadays with all the braid. But if something happens to this hook, I just take it off. Grab a new hook. If I want to use a red hook, I have a red hook here. I can thread this on very easily just by putting it on clockwise. Again, you can probably pre-rig, and again, I'm a kayak fisherman. This is a huge advantage to me. I can head out with a few of these spinner baits. So, you know, here's the chartreuse and white one that I just showed you. Here's an all white one. And then here's another chartreuse white with a gold blade added to it. Double willow. And this one is a Colorado willow in a nickel. But I can head out with these three baits and create them into a bunch of different baits. You know, one can have a swim jig on the, you know, this one here can have a chartreuse swim jig on, or sorry, a swim bait on the back, soft plastic swim bait. I can take this white skirting off and just put a white swim bait similar to this one here, just running on the back. So now it looks like, you know, one major bait fish swimming with a couple other ones swimming in the vibration and the flash. You know, on this other one here, again, I can put my topwater frog. So I can take a chartreuse soft plastic frog, rig it to this without the skirt or with the skirt, and use it as a buzz bait below the surface of the water. Those are just a few options that I discussed with 3 different spinner baits that I can probably turn into 10, 12 different baits. Now, can I do it with a standard spinner bait? Sure, I can. Is it going to be exactly the same as that purpose? No. The more entry holes we create on our soft plastics, entry holes and exit holes, we create damage. Just like on this one here, a lot of holes and gaps in this one. It's getting, you know, eaten up around the head. So this technology, again, going back to the Freedom Tackle unique head here, it allows you to pre-rig baits. Here are just, again, 2 baits that are pre-rigged. They're pre-rigged. I don't need to make multiple holes in these baits, so I'm not going to use as many soft plastics as you normally would. Threading one on here. Now it's not working. I want to go to the swim bait look. So I got to take the craw off, put the swim bait on. Now take the swim bait back off, put a frog on. All those holes in and out, constantly going through it are going to make those soft plastics not last as long at all. So being able to have pre-rigged is a huge advantage, because I can have 15, 16 different baits just by using 3 spinner baits. And their product line doesn't stop just at spinner baits. They've got a swim jig, a stealth swim jig series here, which can be dummied as a flipping jig. There you go, that head's moving around in there as well. And they've also got a chatterbait version as well. So this is your typical chatterbait, but it's not your typical chatterbait because it's got a free swinging hook, which is a huge advantage. A lot of vibration, a lot of movement. Even if this you know, swim jig here, say I was flipping this as a flipping jig, I drop it down to the bottom, it, you know, those few little air bubbles come up. I got the noise coming out of that brass chamber in there. Now I've got also movement. The skirt and the hook can move freely off the bottom like this. It's a huge advantage for anyone out there who's looking for something different, guys. Get in there and check out Freedom Tackle's website, because this, you know, this mobility here, we've never seen on baits. We've only had it where it's built right into the actual head. Solid one piece. Being able to have this mobility on a bait, on numerous styles of baits, not just one. Again, it's not just a chatterbait, it's not just a swim bait, it's not just a flipping jig. Being able to have this technology, which is that proprietary head and that uniqueness of the head and the functionality of it, this is really, really cool. I mean, you know, I'm excited that I've got some of their product that I'm gonna, you know, definitely give a huge go to this season, because I'm a kayak fisherman and I'm a, you know, from shore fisherman. I can head out with maybe just what I have here and some soft plastics, maybe 4 different soft plastic packages. That's it. No tackle tray, no nothing. Just these products here, and I can actually probably develop, maybe come up with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 20 different ways to use those baits, as buzz baits, as subsurface baits, as baits off of the bottom, jigging baits. I've got it all here, versus having to have multiple spinner baits in multiple colors where I can't change skirts, I can't replace hooks. You know, they're pretty much one-dimensional at that point. But being able to have, again, pre-rigged baits on extra hooks that you have in your tackle trays, to be able to add them to stuff like this and to add them to a head that allows you to salvage the bait if it does get damaged in any way, shape, or form. To me, that's a winner, guys. Like I said, if you haven't checked them out, get in there and check them out. Their products are quite unique, made very well. Definitely worth picking up, you know, several of them and at least checking them out. Just because, like I said, this technology here that's in that head is actually absolutely priceless in my opinion, to anybody who's looking for something different, to anybody who's looking to save money on soft plastics, to anybody who's looking to head out with maybe a handful of baits. That doesn't become just a handful of baits. It actually becomes 15, 20, 30 different styles of baits just by manipulating 4 or 5 baits. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did like it, feel free to hit that like button. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, get in there and do so. There will be a lot more videos on products like this and companies like this that, in my opinion, are thinking outside of the box, and in most cases thinking without a box as well, and offering us a premium product, a very unique premium product that's going to allow us to be a lot more versatile out on the water. So thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.